Hey everybody, I just wanted to do a little video showing off the modifications I made to my Volca setup here. It's not going to be really deep or technical, so if you're interested in that kind of thing, let me know in the comments, and I guess I'll make another video about how exactly I did everything. Here we have the Volca Sample 2. The first thing that I did was I actually put these little micro switches, these little clicky buttons. I soldered them in underneath every little rubber membrane button right here. I actually did this on all 8 of every Volca here. And it just kind of makes it perform a little bit better. It feels a little bit more like a musical instrument and less like a toy. This skin right here I did not make. I found this on Italian eBay. I found this graphic designer making these cool printed Volca skins. I got this one for the sample. It makes it look like a Roland TR-909, and then the FM is made to look like a Yamaha DX7. So those are pretty cool. I thought they were tastefully done. These switches right here, so I drilled holes in the top of the sample here, and I installed these SPST switches. This one's connected to the function button, this one's connected to the mute and solo button, and this one's connected to the memory and write button. So if you have the function on, then this is solo and this is write, but the function is off, then this is mute and this is load. So it's kind of like a pattern load mode. So what this does is it kind of frees up my right hand. I don't have to hold down the buttons anymore, and my right hand can be doing something else if I have it kind of engaged in a mode. So I like to have it in mute mode, and then I can see at all times what parts are muted and unmuted. And that's kind of what inspired me to do this in the first place. I wanted that view on the sample. These little 4 clicky micro switches, these ones are soldered to the first 8 keys on the touch panel right here. So they're wired in pairs. So this one's connected to the first 2, this is 3 and 4, this is 5 and 6, and this is 7 and 8. So what that does is that allows me to turn on the step jump mode, and I can execute quarter notes by holding down two of these buttons, or I can do an 8th note by holding down 1, and then I can do 16 by just holding down one of these keys. So it makes the step jump mode more performable, I guess. The other reason that it's cool that these are wired in pairs is that I like to layer up some of my drum sounds. So sometimes I'll have 2 kick drums, 2 snares, 2 percussion parts, 2 hi-hats to kind of give that part a little bit of depth. And now with these buttons, I can mute them both simultaneously like they're the same sound. You can also do this thing where if one of the if one of the sounds in the pair is muted, then pressing this is going to toggle them, right? So it's going to unmute the one that's muted and mute the one that's unmuted, right? So what you could do is, so then these buttons almost change the sound from an alternate. And if those were loops, well, then you could change it to a whole different pattern without changing the pattern, if that makes any sense. Okay, so these knobs right here, these control the analog isolators on the sample, right? Bass and treble. And these sound really, really cool. These filters have a lot of character. But I always thought they were kind of limited or limiting because you couldn't turn them on and off with a switch. So that's kind of what I've done here. Is if you hold down these buttons, it'll cut the lows or cut the highs, and if you press them at the same time, it'll do a sort of bandpass thing. So that's why I put them close enough together so I can press them with one finger. And all these mods ended up taking a lot of space internally, so I had to actually carve up the plastic chassis. I had to get rid of the battery compartment and the little speaker, which was fine because I didn't really need them. But yeah, this was going to add some space in there and make it bulge, and I had to kind of strategize where I put these components to avoid the circuit boards. This little yellow window here, I actually cut the lid off of a Bustelo coffee can. See the yellow lid here? Works pretty well. Okay, so with the new bass, I got the function switch, just like on the sample. That does basically the same thing, where that activates the function button right here. And then you got the same thing over here, the memory switch. And that activates the memory button right here. But I did something interesting, or a little different, right here, where this red button activates all three of these randomized switches. Here, is this focus? Right. So, see right here, it says transpose randomize, accents randomize, slides randomize. So this button right here is going to activate all three of those at once. Basically, you could just program in a very simple pattern and then press this button and it spices it up, gives it a little flavor, and you can press it again and again and again until you find something cool, or you can kind of use it at the end of the bar or measure as a little fill. This switch right here is connected to the output of the new bass. So if you turn it up, it's off, and now this little button right here is going to turn it back on. So it's a little gate. So if you hold it down, it's back on. If you release it, it's off again. And then if you want to turn it back on permanently, the switch. Okay, here's the FM. So again, on here, I did the function switch, which is going to activate the function button, and the memory switch, which is going to activate the memory button. And I did the gate, just like I did on the new bass. Works the same way. The only difference on here is I put a little push button right here that is going to short out the algorithm knob and send it back to a value of 1. It's a little interesting control, because normally with this knob you would only be able to make linear sweeps through those values, right? But with this knob, it does a jump back to 1, and you can motion sequence that. So you can kind of get some cool, weird, jumpy sounds that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise. Oh, and of course, you need the RGB underbody lighting. Sick.